Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Row Access. Today, I decided I wanted to start something that I think I'm gonna call Thoughtful Thursday. I'd like to try to pump content into this thing as much as possible, and while I'm overseas right now, I can really only contribute in this way. Talking a little about what I'm doing to try to contribute most to getting to where I want to go. And so for today's topic, I kind of felt like I should talk a little bit about the investing yourself idea. You hear people talk about it, and you don't really know. That can be in a lot of different forms. It could be investing in going to school of some sort, or getting certification, or whatever it may be. But to me, it's normally like I try to understand like what it's going to cost me, what will be the benefits, and like what could be like the opportunity cost of going or not going. And so I thought it was a pretty good topic because on tomorrow I head over to the airport. I'm staying in a hotel and then flying over to the States. And overall, the trip's still costing me a decent amount of money, but I got a really good deal on the tickets, which is why between that and talking to Travis, kind of talked me into it. Travis was like, yeah, you should definitely come down to Fabtech and check it out. It's going to be awesome. And so I started Googling it, and it seems to be a pretty big ordeal. And so I hopped on Google Flights, which is what I try to use. Another part of this channel is going to be trying to like focus on how can help you guys travel and get around, because that's part of the money management part. And so with that, I hopped on Google Flights. I found a round trip flight from Nuremberg, Germany, here pretty close to where I live, over to Chicago for like $440 round trip at the time that I booked it, which was a pretty good window on time wise. But I got a super duper good deal on the tickets. Hotels range 80 up to 300, 400, $500. So if you stay downtown right at the center, then you're gonna be paying $300, $400. But I could stay out by the airport for like 140 a night. I think is what I ended up paying. But to me, that's an investment to myself. Now, what could this get me? To me, the $400 round trip ticket, a couple nights in a hotel. I decided to fly home to Denver and stay at the house for a couple of nights, because the round trip ticket was a week. That was the cheapest, and if I would have gone shorter, it would have cost more. So I took the cheapest ticket, and then a round trip ticket from Chicago to Denver was like $90. So that was cheaper than one of my hotel nights. And so I'm going home, and I'll end up spending 3 nights at the house for free. So that ended up being the best ordeal. Now I am cutting out some time from being at Fabtech, which I wish I could have stayed longer, but I think for the cost of what I have involved and everything, I'm going to be able to meet as many people as I probably could. Obviously not at the max, but get a good amount of people, a good amount of experiences, and that's exactly what I'm going for. Putting names to faces to some of these people that I've met online, people that I've seen online, some people I maybe not even talked to, but like hanging out at the ESAW booth or Weld2 booth or Illuma or any of these big, huge names that are out there. These are people that I get to meet, and who knows at what value that may come to me down the road. And so that's why these big things go on. So if you've never been to a conference, ever been to one of these types of conventions or anything like that, I highly suggest going to one. This year I presented at a conference, and I met so many people that I have interacted with at some point in time in the Army, or people that could possibly lead to something else in the future. You never know. Like literally the job that I'm working at right now was from a connection I made while I was on active duty, and I got off active duty in 2016. Completely out of the blue. I had not worked for her since 2015, so it had literally been 3 years since I had really even seen her, and she called me out of the blue asking me to come over. And so you never know what that turns into, and just as all of you guys know, the welding community is fairly small in a sense. I was on the phone with a guy the other day talking about some stuff that we want to do here on the channel. And so he just told me, add him on Facebook, and it turns out that he's mutual friends with 2 guys that I worked on the boiler house job I was talking about 10 years ago, or pretty close, which is crazy, And he's like, oh yeah, I just worked with him recently on this job, cool dude. So it's really the reputation that you carry is going to follow you around. So, if you're known for dragging up everywhere you go, then that's going to be told, So it's only a matter of time before you kind of run out of chances. So try to do your best everywhere you go, and that's what I've tried to do here. This opportunity that I've been working at here in Germany has been fantastic. I haven't burned any bridges. Everybody understands the situation. I put in a 7-month notice, basically, that I was leaving, which unfortunately the person that's hiring in won't be here until early part of next year, but the transition time is going to be pretty small, whereas I interviewed the day that I replaced the guy left. But anyhow, I'm just going to hop off here, but I just wanted to put into a quick thoughtful Thursday is I think what I'm going to call it. But just remember to invest in yourself, whatever that may be. It could be at a small cost. It could be like today. I tried to look before, but my phone needed to update or whatever. But I spent about 2.5 hours today on Instagram, which is really high for me normally. But I was building the row access Instagram, going in and following accounts, commenting on people's stuff, conversing with a couple of different people. And for some people, that's kind of the main form of communication because I'm overseas. Because like texting or whatever doesn't really. If you're overseas, like I have an iPhone, you have whatever phone you want. But for people with iPhones, you can iMessage back and forth overseas without any extra cost. But if you have an Android, then you're kind of stuck to using WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever. And so for people, I predominantly spoke to them on Instagram. But anyhow. Yeah, to me, that was an investment in myself. I had a mostly down day today. I shipped my car overseas, or shipped my car back to the States. So I spent most of my time sitting around waiting and killing time. So that's really extreme for me, especially on a normal work day. But anyhow, I get a lot done towards the brand, towards where I want to be. And to me, that was an investment to myself. And that was my investment to myself today. And this trip I'm taking, to the States cost me a decent amount of money, but who knows? It might turn into one job down the road that turns into 2 jobs, that turns into 10 jobs, that turns into, who knows, sponsored equipment or not sponsored equipment or whatever. But, at what point is that job, what is that worth to you? You take a job that gets you a $100,000 pay cut. Who knows? Somebody might offer me a job when it's time for me to break out, and then boom, there's your $100,000 a year. Was it worth the $1,000 it cost me to go on this trip? Absolutely. So, you just got to remember to invest in yourself. There's a lot of things like that. Quick shout out to Wally. He's hosting his first class this weekend in Colorado. So if you haven't been able to register with him already, I know he's getting pretty close to full. So if you follow me, hit him up, see if he's got a spot. If you're in Colorado, northern Colorado area, you still have time to buy tickets and fly in. It's going to be on Sunday. It's going to be jam up. It really is. Wally's super knowledgeable, not called the Weld Professor for no reason. So got a lot of knowledge in that brain of his. So get out there and get some of it. I'm interested to meet up with him next week and pick his brain a little bit myself. And hopefully be able to learn anything I can from him. But hopefully you guys will get to see some of that. But anyhow, you guys have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. And we'll be seeing you shortly from Fabtech. Peace.